bankruptcy, debt, religious persecution. These are just a few of the things so-called King Louis XIV did for France.
Using the taxes of his country, Louis built his famous palace of Versailles, which put his country into massive debt due to the outrageous expenses for this spoiled man.
Under King Henry IV's rule of France before Louis, the Edict of Nantes was put into place, which allowed religious tolerance towards Protestants. Mainly the Huguenots that lived in the largely Catholic France at the time contributed greatly to the economy. Under Louis's reign, he would vote the Edict of Nantes, making the Huguenots flee or they would be imprisoned and persecuted, which also damaged France's economy.
Speaking of the economy, did you know that it was never really Louis that contributed to it? While he was making his nobles dress him daily, Jean-Baptiste Colbert was actually coming up with mercantilism for France and ways to boost the economy. Colbert was the one figuring out how to export more than the country imports. Louis would just agree and sign the tariffs. Louis is mainly given credit because it happened during his rule, but you can never give someone so mediocre credit for something that was so spectacular and extraordinary for that time.
Louis is the definition of absolutism, a single overruling monarch taking control of everything with no one to answer to but God, because it was God that chose him, right? No more listening to those pesky nobles or anyone in his kingdom now, right? Just free reign to do whatever he pleases, which was apparently put France into major debt.
Did you know that France went through a war during Louis's reign? It was War of Succession, and it ended in France losing. If this man can't even win wars, then why should he be king? Because God said so? Sounds to me like he's playing you.
Peter the Great took Russia out of its medieval ways in isolation and modernized it, leading it to what we will one day know as one of the world's biggest superpowers.
Starting in 1669 as Russia's single czar, Peter advanced its military and built a navy from Russia's pretty much non-existent one. He even assisted with building some ships himself, obviously a people's man. His military prowess proved true when he won the 21-year Great Northern War against Sweden for coastal positions along the Baltic Sea. Unlike a certain monarch we know who couldn't even win a war with Spain on its side. With Peter's winning in Sweden, he built a new capital for Russia, a warm water port that allowed trade and economic boom, St. Petersburg.
He turned this pish-posh government into a militaristic, centralized government as an absolute monarch. But no some whiny brat of a monarch like Louis, but with grace and reason. And this new government he formed helped stabilize Russia and boost its economy.
As previously touched on, Peter westernized Russia. After a trip through Western Europe, Peter came back, stopped a revolt, and then took to work fixing what he saw wrong with his country, a man of action. He made his people dress more modernly, opened up new schools, went to specialized subjects like art and science, put efforts to raise women's statuses, and brought more literacy to Russia by starting the country's first newspaper. This was a country who was cut off from the rest of Europe, not experiencing the scientific revolution or the Renaissance. So what did this man do? He advanced education, making it as good as other Western European countries.
Peter the Great doesn't stand for these high powers taking so much control. That's why he lessened the power of both the patriarch and wealthy landowners, letting the middle class and merchants have more freedom, not being tied down by the power boyars would hold over them.
Peter the Great's legacy will forever remain, modernizing Russia and giving it a more centralized government, letting Russia and Russians expand until they end up becoming a world superpower in the mid-20th century, all because of this man getting them out of their medieval ways.
Don't be a cheater, vote for Peter.
Woo!